Leave the World Behind. Now, there's two versions of this track that I created. The original track and this version, which is like a dub remix of that original track. Both are available on my YouTube channel and also on my SoundCloud channel as free downloads. So okay, let's get this thing started. Now, the vocal you can hear is a vocal from the Swedish House Mafia. Now, I've got this vocal as a cappella from YouTube. Now, YouTube is a really handy tool for producers, musicians, etc., because there's so many acapellas of famous tracks. Excuse me. But when I say a cappella, I mean just the vocal version of a track as opposed to having instrumentation over the top of it. So ideal for remixing, etc. So I'm on Audio 13 here, which is the Swedish House Mafia a cappella. Now this track is now running at 97 BPM. The original a cappella was running at about 105 or 3 or something like that. So I had to quantize it down to 97 beats per minute. Fairly easy to do. How you do it is you go into the audio file, which is here, and then you go into factory and you've got time and pitch machine here. So there's your original BPM, and there's a BPM that you can set to transfer that original audio from that BPM to that BPM, so you can speed it up or slow it down. Always better to slow up an audio as opposed to slowing it down, because if you slow down audio you're going to end up with gaps, and then the logics on board, mathematics, I've got to fill in those gaps and it just takes the edge off the sound basically. Okay, this is the same audio, but this is like basically what I've done here is I've added loads of reverb and a little bit of echo. You can probably hear that straight away. And then in a second you're going to hear, yeah, and it cuts into the bass line, which is also the synths, which is this, Lost in Trance. Now it comes pre-loaded on Logic 9 and I believe Logic 10 as well. I've not really altered this much at all. I've changed the EQ and the compression on this particular, there you go, on this particular instrument. Added some tape delay and some PT verb or platinum verb, just to give it a bit more of a spatial sound. Now what you can hear at the bottom there is Lucid Chords, which also comes preloaded on Logic 9 and I believe 10 as well. Right, congas. I've got two congas on the go here, both Cuban timber congas. Now I've got them panned differently here. Going to automation, you can see this particular conga is panned. Let's go into panning. Pan far over on the left, whereas this one is panned a bit further on the right. Both at about plus or minus 5 or 53, 52. Let's come out of that. Also, oops, be careful when you're messing about with automation. Right, back in with the trance hook, the Lost in Trance keyboard. Up here again you can hear the audio, which is still that same vocal. This vocal is Chantel, and I'm trying to remember for the life of me what track this is off of. Sorry, I can't remember at this point. You'll hear that come in again with the full version further along the track. Now what you can hear now is an Octavia, which I've played using my keyboard. That comes in and out every so often. I must say that everything apart from the audio was produced by me. So the bass lines, the drums, the synths and the keyboards. Obviously the congas, they weren't produced by me, they were dropped in from Apple Loops. So plenty of loops here on Apple Loops, it's a good thing. If you ever get stuck for inspiration, you could just go into Apple Loops, click on electric piano for instance here, and you've got literally 100 plus different electric piano loops. Anyway, back to this track. Now that's Chantel vocals coming back in full time again now. The only thing I did with that was added some reverb. That's it. I think it was platinum reverb. And here comes some more audio. Maybe not. Comes the vibraphone again. Now this whole track, this particular track, this remix, fairly easy to knock up actually, because I already had basically the template laid down on the original version that I created. So basically I had to remove some extra keys, remove some bits and pieces. There was some percussion on there that I've taken out, and then just added a few bits. I stripped the track bare basically, I stripped it bare and added some more various bits and pieces like these Cuban congas, etc. Obviously remixed it completely, so there's breaks here and there that are not in the original version I created. This Lost in Trance keyboard again, not in the original version. I added that into this, as though it's exclusive to this particular track. Just think it makes it sound a lot better, makes it sound a lot more contemporary. A lot of my music is very old school in style. That's the sort of style of music that I'm really much into, very much into. 80s music, house, electro in particular. So I've got a bit of an eye for old school sounds and instrumentation, etc. Mixes. But this, particularly with this Lost in Trance, gives you a bit more of a contemporary feel. Now, as we're coming in, let's go back into automation. Now, at the very bottom here, output. Now, basically, that's the volume, that's the output for all of these tracks above it. So I've got that set at, let's have a look, what's it set at? Right, minus 11.2 decibels. Now, as it comes to the end of the track, you'll see here this automation line decreases down to 0 decibels. So basically, what it does is it fades out the track. This line represents the total volume of all of these tracks above. And obviously, each of these tracks is all preset with different audio levels. But the main volume for everything that runs concurrent is run from the output stage at the bottom here. Back in the Chantel vocal, which cuts in every 2 bars, or every bar, every 2 bars, depends on where you are on the track. And the lucid chords are going to come back in again. Now. See, I don't mind using other people's acapellas. Obviously I can't sell, I can't make a record using other people's acapellas and then sell it, put it on for sale like I have on my original music, for obvious reasons, copyright, etc. So these tracks, this one and other tracks that do use third-party samples or acapellas, they're all free. They're all free to download. Obviously I can't charge for them. And they're all available off my SoundCloud as free downloads in MP3 format. Also, they're all available on, well, all my tracks, including my original music, is all available on my YouTube channel. And obviously, I've got a website as well, alantaylormusic.com. Just Google that, and there will be links on that website to paid for music via iTunes, and also links to my free music via my SoundCloud site. Right now, this should start panning out in the next few seconds. Here we go, it's panning out now. As the time bar progresses along the track, it moves slowly down until we get to the very end where it's completely silent. So, there you go. This is how I produced this track on Logic 9 on an Apple computer. I will produce another video which will be mastering. Mastering is a bit of a dark art, as some people say. Lots of stuff you need to be aware of if you're mastering a track. Obviously what you're listening to here, or have just listened to, is not mastered. This is just a raw mix. It's a wet mix, so it means that every audio or every keyboard or every instrumentation, each track basically has got various compressions or reverbs or echoes or and EQ, etc. So that's what I mean by wet, as opposed to a dry mix, which would have no effects added, which makes it sound a lot different. Anyway, I'll endeavour to produce a video on mastering in the next coming few days. Thanks for watching. Take care.